Carlos Nelson with the Kansas City Business Association, and we have our newest member. We just moved into a new location at 1734 East 63rd Street, and we have quite a few black businesses here. And I met this young lady. She has a business on the first floor. Who do we have here?
My name is Willa Robinson.
Hey, Ms. Robinson, tell our audience a little bit about your business.
I am the owner of Willa's Books. I'm the only black bookstore, black-owned bookstore here in Kansas City at this particular time.
Tell us, off camera I was talking to you about how long you've been in business and how you started with the books. Give our audience a little bit of history on yourself and your business and your association with books, and why is it books?
Well, going back to my childhood, my love for books started when I was in grade school. And then my father was an avid reader. And so when I started grade school real early, because my brother had polio and he was crippled, so he would not go to school unless I went with him. So I started school probably 4 instead of the normal 6. And so I learned right along with him. But the teacher was, they taught you how to read and all that, so I learned right along with him. But I became a lover of books and the love of reading. And because my father was always reading, and he never picked me up in his arms and read to me, but he always had a book when he came home from work, a newspaper or a magazine, and then he'd go to sleep on Sunday evening after we went to church with the paper in his face. And so I said, it had to be something good about it, because I tried to hold the paper, but my arms would get tired. But anyway, that's how I got, that's why reading is a part of me. And I've always, comic books was my first love. And when I couldn't get comic books, it was anything I could get my hands on. But we never could get, there was no black books, because I was born and raised in Arkansas. And so we didn't get Ebony and all that stuff.
Jet
and all that
Johnson
stuff.
Publications,
No,
basically.
we didn't get that. But
you did get Run, Sally, and Dick and Jane,
yes,
didn't you? Yeah,
And
that's what I got.
And I'm still looking for this book called The Pig, The Camel and the Pig. They were friends, and that was a book that was one of my favorite books when I was a kid. But anyway, when I went to work at the post office, and I was in '78, I started collecting books, and I worked right up the street from a bookstore, and on my lunch hour I went there and I started collecting black books. Now I read all other kind of books, but
Black authors and things dealing with your community.
My community. I started there. I got saved, gave my life to Christ, and then when I moved to, I was transferred to 12th and Locust at the federal building downtown. I was not too far from another bookstore. So when I went to collect books on the Holy Spirit, well, black books was right there.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just happened. I started picking up anything, collecting black books.
Tell them about, like off camera, you told me how you had a good postmaster or whoever was over.
Well, I had a good manager. And so I wanted to sell books, and so he allotted me the time, and it was a room where I sold books, and other people could come in and buy books.
And tell our audience what period of time this was. What
This
years,
was like
these years.
This was during this particular time. I started working at the federal building downtown in '87,
Mm-hmm.
and during that time, accumulating all these books and stuff, I went across the street and got my business license to sell books. That was in '94 I got.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the history of me dealing in books.
How many books do you think you have downstairs? Rough number.
2 or 3
1,000. And most of them are
black books.
black books.
Historical books. Most of them are historical books. There's some romance there, but that's not my genre that I'm interested in. It's black history. Anything about black people. Education. Baseball, jazz, and then there's another thing.
That's where I was going to get to that, because both of us have that love of jazz, Blue Note, and what have you. Matter of fact, just last night on cable, the gentleman that started the Blue Note label, they had a documentary on him.
I got to hear it.
All right, and he almost lost Blue Note fooling around with Thelonious Monk, because Monk was so much ahead of his time. He clicked with Monk, but Monk albums weren't selling, but he was sinking a lot of money into Monk.
Okay.
And we had conversation, talk about what you're doing with that and the value of these albums and things now.
Well, when I opened a store in 2007, that's the first storefront that I had.
Where was that located?
On 5535 Troost Avenue. And I was there for 4.5 years. And when I started there, people would come and they want to sell their records. Somebody wanted a few dollars, so they want to sell their records. So I became involved in records. And so when that happened, there was a couple of men, 2 or 3 men. They would come in, they knew that I didn't know the value of records. One of was a white guy and a couple of them were black. And they told me how to price my records. They told me, you don't know what you're doing.
How to price?
How to price them. There was this white guy that came and he sold records in London, British, and that music over there is called Northern Soul, and he would tell me this record would be worth so much money, and then he said some of these people, if they know you got this record, they would fly over here and get this record. So there was education going on all the time, and I learned to love jazz, and I always did love blues, because I was brought up on blues in Arkansas.
In the South.
But my brother introduced me to jazz.
Who's one of your favorite artists?
Sonny Chris is my all-time favorite. But I do like Coltrane. I do like Lester Young. I like Billie Holiday.
Lady sings the blues. She's looking over here. We got a big portrait of the ladies, giants in the jazz world.
But there are just so many of them. Boogaloo Joe Jones, and I like them. I like it when they mix blues and jazz together. I like that because I'm from the South.
And that's our history. Jazz is one of the original art forms that America has, and all of it comes out of the blues. Louis Armstrong and them fellas.
Everything came out of blues, gospel, jazz, soul. All came out of blues.
And it came out of our struggle. The blues, because we still have the blues.
Tell me about it.
Especially as being people of color in business.
Yes.
I cry the blues almost every day. And our camera woman right now, she's shaking her head. She has the blues. What's her business?
Yes, because it is a struggle in doing a business, Because I started out, like I said, on 55th and Truth. Was there for 4.5 years, and then I had to close down because it was failing. The overhead was too much. And so I stayed out of the business for 2 years. That was in 2012. And then it grabbed a hold of me again, and so in 2014, I opened up here in a little corner. And
1734 East 63rd Street, first floor.
and so I moved to several places in here, but now I am on the first floor, and I'm in Suite 110. And I have an outstanding collection of black books. I have rare books that most people don't see of black history.
They don't even know about.
No, they don't even know.
So I'm inviting our business association, our What's Up Kansas City, and our sports network people, because she has things on sports. I can't say, but I would think like Jesse Owens and some of the black athletes, John Carlos. I thought I saw a portrait or something down there with John Carlos, 1968, held his fist up with the black glove on, and so forth.
But when you said, you showed me that interview on Rube Foster.
Rube Foster, creator of the Negro League Baseball. Rube Foster, first night games, came up with putting the lights out. Go ahead.
But then, and he said, "We are the ship."
We are the ship.
Well, that brought the book to me that this young man did. He came, and I can't remember his name. He came, and they had a book signing for him at the Negro League. And it is a beautiful book. It's like it's not a child's book, but it's a beautiful book.
It's something that needs to be read.
Yeah,
I'll look up
it's
what the
called
name.
The Ship.
The Ship.
We are the ship.
We are the ship.
Yeah.
All right.
I used to carry it. I don't have it now.
Tell me this. What do you see as it relates to our youth and their ability to understand their history and the importance of books and reading and such?
It is not a good picture because reading, I don't want to. Reading takes.
It is what it is.
Reading takes concentration, or because everything is so fast, everything moves so fast. They're on their phones, they're on the computer, everything is there. So to get them interested in a book, that's going to be hard.
It really starts at home.
This is what I was going to say. If your parents or whoever is your guardian, if they have books, if books are important to them, they will be important to your children. I have a 7-year-old great-grandchild. She loves to read, she loves to draw, she loves to paint, all of this stuff. And so she goes to one of the charter schools here. And they give you a test at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And for the whole year, they want you to come up to 350. Well, when my grandchild took the test, she did 395. That is all for the whole year. She's done that for the whole year. That's because she loves to read. She loves books.
But because she comes from someone who is, I'm not a reader. I buy books. I don't really read them like I should. I'm more of a visual how I get my information. But I understand the importance of books, books and reading in general. A lot of the people that were older than me, my dad, my grandfather, you had a lot of people had to have that paper and coffee every morning.
You're right.
And they read through the whole.
That's right. And my son, I have a son that he said that, Mom, I only read for information. He doesn't read for pleasure like I do.
Right.
It's for some project or something that he has to do.
This is what I think, and what I've noticed. I could be wrong. It seems like women read more for pleasure.
Yes.
My ex of 30 years, she sit up in the bed at night before she goes to bed, and she'll read. I'm like, how you reading 50, 60 pages? The key thing that you said, that concentration,
Right.
being able to concentrate and what have you.
Or something that grabs you. Not a book has to grab you. If it hasn't taken hold, say 20 pages in, you probably better put it down. That's me. That's nothing scientific. That's
Right.
But books, if you're like these kids, like those Avengers, these comic
Right.
book people,
Now,
the Avengers, Spider-Man.
but you know, all of that stuff comes out of our era, because I'm 68, and when I was in grade school, I had a cousin that he'd go to the bathroom with the comic books and read. And talking to the bathroom, a lot of places, I don't see it now, had magazines in the bathroom for you to read while you were in the bathroom.
But see, reading, you have to be interested in the subject.
Subject matter.
One of my sons went to Border Star, and he had a teacher that said they could bring anything to the classroom to read during that time except Playboy. They couldn't bring Playboy. And so he brought a comic book. But comic books are fascinating. I still like comic books today.
They have a whole different. They have taken from the comic book to the screen, and it's been all about money, not education per se.
Right. But you know, reading is fundamental to getting a good education. You cannot have an education if you cannot read. You have to read. There's my son and I have this argument. He says, math. I said, no, you got to read before. That's got to be your foundation.
Yeah. Well, it was a pleasure having you on the show. And again, in closing, what would you say to our audience?
I would say that I hope to see you
1734 East 63rd Street,
Suite 110, Tuesday through Saturday, 12 to 5 every day.
Soon as you walk through the front door, you will see her shop on the left-hand side. As we always close with, when you invest in your community, you're really just investing in yourself. Good night.
Amen.